Hi everyone, it's Laurel here, and today I'm coming to you with what I hope will turn into a little series. I've been watching a lot of these types of series on YouTube myself, and I finally did a project that I thought was worthy of a series, and I thought we would make a mini album together. Now, my mini albums, I just kind of want to state in front, are very utilitarian. I'm not one that makes tons of creative pages, and all of my inserts are very similar, and they would allow you to get a lot of pictures or whatever you are wanting to put down in one place. So I wanted to show you the album that I completed yesterday on Ustream, and then and give some credit for the inspiration, and then I wanted to start making it with you. So I'm not sure how many videos this will wind up being, but we'll see. So first, let me show you the album, and I'll give you a quick supply list, and which I may add to throughout, because I'm doing this in kind of real time. So what I'm calling this is the Waterfall Pocket Flip album. So this is the cover, and I still have some sunlight coming through my window, so sorry about that. What I'm using for my closure is some of those Tim Holtz brads that have the loop, just one on the front and one on the back, and then I just ran some ribbon through it. So first credit goes to Dee Dee, who is Inkwell, for the rubber band binding. These are all hair ties. You can probably see them at the bottom best. And that allows you to bind the book very easily. And it also makes the entire insert removable. So thanks, Dee Dee, for that. And then let's get to the first signature. Okay, hopefully you can see that. I know that the sunlight's playing us up. Okay, so this is the first signature. And I want to give the credit for the inspiration to Paper Crafter 45 here on YouTube. She did a series that she called the Lazy Girls Waterfall Insert, and it was meant to be used in a mini album, which I will do for sure. But when I watched her video and I put one together, kept looking at it and looking at it, and then I was inspired to create a mini album out of several of the inserts. So let's look at it in terms of one. So when she made it, it was these four, and each one has a tag. Now you could totally do this, and then I've covered it in paper front and back. Okay, so there's the first signature. All I've done is I've made several of the signatures, and I've bound them together with a paper hinge. To be honest, in this book there are 7 signatures. Now, I don't know that I would do that many again. And I don't think I'm going to in the example that I'm going to show you, because it's a lot. It's cuckoo crazy to do that many, but it fit, so I figured why not. And each one has a tag. So it's a nice place to store little bits of ephemera. You can do wallet-sized pictures. You would have to cut your pictures down, but I think it's very cute. So thanks Paper Crafter 45, and thanks Dee Dee for helping me to come up with this. Lots of uses for things. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this on the side. And I'm going to give you the short tool list that you'll need. Okay, so in order to make the mini, you are definitely going to need your paper cutter, your scoring tool, a bone folder, a ruler, a pair of snip scissors. If you want to bind it the way I am, you're going to need some hair ties or rubber bands, 6. You'll need ATG tape. You'll need scrappy tape or score tape. And you'll need some envelopes, which I'll just go over in a second. A coordinating piece of 12 by 12 cardstock to your envelopes. And a book of paper. So I wanted to share this type of mini because I was interested in doing a mini out of a 6x6 pad. So for this one, I'm going to use the Prima's Nature's Garden collection. It has 48 sheets. It is single-sided, which is perfect for this. You can get all of your mats and your covers and everything straight out of this, the way I'm going to show you how to do it. So if you have a bunch of 6x6 pads, if you were like me and you scooped up on the My Mind's Eye sales or whatnot and they're knocking around in your drawer and you intended to make cards out of them, you might want to visit this. This can be done out of a 6x6, and I'm going to attempt that because I want to use this paper up. In the example I just showed you, I used a 12 by 12, and it doesn't take a lot of paper out of a 12 by 12. Quite honestly, I pulled 6 designs, and I didn't use all the paper. So you'll need that. You'll also need some cardstock for your tags that coordinates. Okay, so let's talk envelopes. In her tutorial, Paper Crafter 45 shows us how to make this waterfall insert out of number 10 business envelopes. These kind of things. You can pick these up at the dollar store. That's probably where these came from. And they're a good weight and they work really well. And that's what I made the first album out of. And it'll give you a waterfall that looks like this. But in playing with it, I have some policy envelopes that I got at Hobby Lobby that come in colors. These happen to be craft. If you want to use security envelopes or number 10 business envelopes, you are more than welcome to do so. It takes a lot of ink. I distressed every single page front and back of that album. And I don't think I want to do all of that distressing on this one. So I'm going to take a little help, and I've tweaked this a little bit with the measurements to create more of a hinge. So in her tutorial, she shows you exactly how to do this, and I will show you that as well. But basically you get 1/4 of an inch to work with. I felt I needed a little bit more in a mini album, so I switched the measurements up and I used policy envelopes which are the exact same size, mind you. And I switched it so I would have a 1/2 inch at the top. And that works out good for me. So if you're not sure what a policy envelope is, it's an envelope that looks like this. Hobby Lobby sells them. That's exactly where I got these. The measurement of the envelope in either case is 4 1/8 by 9 1/2. So that's the size envelope that you want to work with. Okay? Okay, so for a mini album, and I'm going to be working in the policy envelopes. And there's 2 reasons for that, so I can show you where the tape goes and those types of things. The first thing I do is I make my inserts. Okay? Oh, that was bad. We'll have to get that later. That was my little tidbits of junk. Okay, each signature takes 2 envelopes. Okay? Where did that fall? Oh, there it is. Okay, time out. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. Okay, each signature takes 2 envelopes. Now, you can do it with the business number 10 envelopes, or you can do it with policy envelopes, whatever you like. In either case, now I've tweaked the measurements. In hers will show you a different way, but I'm going to show you the way I did it. I sealed the envelope just with a little ATG. And here's what you're going to do. You're going to put this on your trimmer, and you're going to cut it at 4. Now in her tutorial, she cuts it at 3 1/2, but we're going to cut it at 4, which is you're going to take an 1/8 off. And you're going to wind up with something that looks like that twice. Okay, so now I'm going to start referring to this as envelope number 1 and envelope number 2. Okay. Going to get out your scoring tool. Envelope number 1, you're going to put your cut opening at the top of your tool. Sorry about sunshine. And you're going to score it at 3 1/2, 4, and 4 1/2. Just like that. Then you're going to put envelope number 2 cut side up on your board, and you're going to score this at 4, 4 1/2, and 5. Okay, so I'm going to review those measurements. 3 1/2, 4, and 4 1/2. Envelope number 2 is going to be 4, 4 1/2, and 5. Now I did these in mass in 2s. So I sealed all my envelopes, I cut them all, and now I'm going to score, I scored them all. Okay, what you want to do first, and this is going to be difficult to see, but the center score line, you just want to fold into a valley. And this is where the bone folder comes in really handy. So just fold it over. Then you're going to fold it back. You're going to get on the score lines that are around it. I find it's easiest to kind of fold it back, fold it up, and then fold it back. So essentially you want to get a W. So when you open it, you have something that looks like that. You want to do that to both of your envelopes. So to do that again, you're going to fold over in the middle. You want to make sure that this is nice and square. And with the policy envelopes, I notice there's a little bump in the middle, but that's okay. Take the top, fold it back, and then you can fold this one around even. Does help just to reinforce that fold. Okay, so then you have two with a W. Okay, so can you see it coming together? Basically what's going to happen is this is envelope number 1 with the 3.5 score mark on first. This is envelope number 2. You're going to take envelope number 2 and you're going to take some score tape or scrappy tape, whatever, and on the inside, and I'll put it down, I'll show you, you're going to lay some tape inside that V, or that V. It's not a W, it's a V. I'm going to let the camera focus to show you that. There we go. Okay, that's inside the fold. Don't worry about it just yet. Fold it over. On this side of the score line, you're going to put some tape. See my mark? Down here is probably a little bit easier. Put some tape. You're going to flip it over, and you're going to put some tape in the same spot on the back. Okay? So you'll have tape here, here, and here. Now when you do this, you want to make sure your cut sides are up. And then very simply, you're going to pull your tape. So you pull your tape on the inside, and you can go ahead and fold that over. That sticks that bit together. You can pull the tape from the back, turn it over, and pull your tape from the front. Make sure your cut side is up. Make sure your cut side is up on envelope number 2. Well, this is 2, this is 1. You're then going to take this one folded and insert it into the V. You want to make sure it's nice and even, and then you want to pinch that hinge together and reinforce it with your bone folder. So when you are finished a signature, you will wind up, and I'm showing it to you, well, let's look at it this way, because that's the way it's going to be in our book. You'll have page 1 with the pocket at the top, 2, 3, and 4. That is what you should come up with. These envelopes are made of craft, and they're a little bit, they require a little bit of extra working, but what it's going to save me in ink, I don't mind. Okay? So that is one signature. So for our book, you're going to need to do 4 signatures. Okay? and I have done some ahead. They go very quickly, so you should have 4. And they're a little bit bulky, and they are going to pop open on your desk, but I don't want you to worry about that, because once we get mats on them and tags inside, it goes pretty quickly. So here is what I do. I then cut the tags for the inside. And it's a lot of cutting, but I find if I get this stuff out of the way first, I'm not too bothered by it. So when you're going to come up with, you have 4 signatures, and we're going to cut the tags for the interior. So you're going to have 16 tags. So you're going to want to get a coordinating cardstock. I'm just using 8.5 by 11 Recollections cardstock and my trimmer. Okay, so your tag sizes are going to be all the same, I should say width and height. Well, they're going to be all the same height. So in our case, they're going to be 4. So it's okay to go ahead and cut your paper down to your height measurement. So check yours. Mine happens to be 4. So I'm going to cut down my paper on the vertical to 4. Okay, then I need a tag that is 3 1/4 inches. I need one that's 3 3/4 inches. Let me just check this. Now you could use this. This gives you 4, but I'm going to put that on the side and use it for my next one. You need one that is 4 1/4 inches. And 4 3/4 inches. So as you're doing this, you want to save your scraps because you're going to use them. So you want to do this 4 times. So they're all 4 inches tall. The first one in my case is 3 1/4, and when you're done, you can just slip that right inside. The next one is 3 3/4. The next one is 4 1/4. And the final one is 4 3/4. So there's a signature, and I like my tags to pop up just a tiny bit. So there you go. So you want to continue and cut those mats, and I have a little cutting guide on the side to help me when I'm doing that, until you have 16. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that, and I'll probably say the measurements a bunch more times. I'm just going to cut this down, get myself some strips of 4. doing it this way, not a lot of waste. And I'm just going to do one more. Okay, so right back at it. Now I want to use everything, so I just want to remeasure this, and this will be fine for a 3 3/4 inch tag. So put that over here. Go back. So in my case, it's 3 1/4, 3 3/4, 4 1/4. Save the offcut, and 4 3/4. And I find it's just simpler to put the tags in as I go. So that's what I'm going to do. Oop, is that the right size? Maybe not. No, that was. Now, you might remember on my album that I had some little tabs. I do them when I'm finished. Okay, first one from my offcut, 3 1/4. This is pretty long. Just trying to utilize as much paper as possible. 4 3/4. Oh, there was something I wanted to do, so I'm glad I stopped here for a minute. 3 3/4. Which one was this? Yeah. And 4 1/4. So what I kind of just am pausing by is I wanted to use a corner punch on my tags, and I haven't done this in a while. But this is a Martha Stewart kind of with a doily detail. So I wanted to try that. So, yeah, I think that'll be nice. And I'm just going to do the corners. I'm not going to worry about the body of it. But I think that'll give it a little detail. So I'm going to go ahead and punch all these, and I will turn off the camera and go back and punch the ones that I have inserted. Or maybe I'll just do them later on. But now is the time to do this when it's simplest, you know? Right after you cut them and before you pop them in. Your signatures. Okay, so there's one. Here's another set, all punched up and nice. Makes it a little bit easier to show too, and it looks more tag-like. So this one is going to slip in there, and then this one. And my crafts don't match, but that doesn't really bother me. Number 3. And number 4. Okay. Let's get the punch dust off. Okay, so I have 4 more tags to cut. And so let's see what we've got here. Nothing quite big enough. So we're going to cut from fresh. Remembering our width is 4. So it's going to be 3 1/4. 3 3/4. Yeah, that one's a 4. 4 1/4. And 4 3/4. Okay. So you don't wind up with too much left over. I have a little bit of scrap, but not too much. So I'm going to corner punch these. So weird. I was trained to use a punch upside down, and this one doesn't want to really work all that well that way. You can ink these, you can do whatever you want. I think just a little detail is nice though. Nope. One more. Okay, so for our purposes, we've got the tags punched for the last signature, and we're just going to insert them for the time being. Very simply. Okay, so by now you should have 4 signatures with 4 tags apiece. So what I'm going to do while I have it here is I'm just going to take these back out, and I'm going to corner punch them. The next step in the process is you're going to cut some hinges. So everybody knows how to do a paper hinge. You want to do the hinges the height of your book, of a signature, and then you want to, I'm going to do these in 1-inch increments, and then I'm going to score them down the center and fold them, and that's going to become my hinges. I have 4 signatures, So at the very least, I need I need 3 hinges. But I always just make a couple extra. So while I'm cutting, I'm probably going to do, 4 just to have an extra. So I'm going to turn off the camera and come back, and what you'll need is to have your hinges. Next step is we're going to make the covers.